but they're still employees of Vale. I'm an employee of Vale. We're all employees of Vale. So when we talk about creating this future that allows us to be profitable and competitive in the long term, it's a future for all of us. It really is. So no, this has nothing to do with the Sudbury community. This is about the business. And we like to think, and we do believe very, very clearly, that if we can position the company to be around for a long time, be competitive in all economic cycles, and not reliant on the price of nickel to the degree that we have been in the past, which runs the risk of becoming a swing producer, that's not only good for the company, that's good for all our employees, it's good for the Sudbury community.
Mm-hmm. Now, you talk about it being good for the community, but we still have 3,100 people out on strike, and they are going to be pulling away their donations in all forms from the community, and even just driving the economy. They want to get back to the table, they say. You guys, are you interested in getting back to the table?
Yeah, you know, it's an interesting conversation because, you know, you have the union saying that they want to get back to the table, and you have the company saying that it wants to get back to the table, yet nothing's happening. And I think that, you know, the best characterization of it is that we're at an impasse. We don't feel yet that we've had any sincere indication from the union that they have any interest in returning to the table. And the reason that we say that is because there's always strings attached. We'll return to the table if you take everything off the table. So in essence what they're asking us to say is, listen, we've spent the last 5 months talking about the business, but oh, you know, we were just kidding. That's not the case. The business issues haven't changed just because the union chose to reject the settlement offer. We think we have the construct of a deal. We think we can work within that framework, but what we're asking the union to do is to acknowledge that there is change required in the business. So we both have our acknowledgements, and I think that, you know, at this point in time we are at an impasse, but we know that it has to be settled at the table.
No offense, I think it's great to have some kind of representation from Vale Inco here, and we've got our 2 top PR people in, but where's the president of the company? I mean, if you guys were really concerned about the community, why isn't the president here saying, look, we want to work things out?
You know what? There will be a role for the president of the company, and that role, it probably isn't to come to Northern Life. That's a role that falls to us. I would suggest that if the president were to come here, you would probably have picketers outside, and you know, you have to look at what's value added. The president will have a role as negotiations get back underway and we get to the table, and you know, the president for the Vale Inco operation sets the mandate for the bargaining team, but the bargaining takes place locally. You know, communications that you brought up is critical in this entire thing, because it's clear to us that as we look at explaining the issues on the table, explaining, you know, why everybody across Canada, around the world, are moving from defined benefit pension plans to defined contributions, that people don't understand all of the things that are involved in that. And that's not because people just don't get it. It's a fundamental change in the way that the company has operated in the past. And I think that, you know, we respect that. So there is a big focus underway on educating people. It's very difficult for us to communicate through any medium right now other than the media when people are out on strike. We know that we have to do a better job of talking to our employees. That's part of the reason that we're here today, and it's you know, hopefully something that by continuing to be consistent in our message, it will start to land with people.
We also can't go directly to them. We have legal obligations around bad faith bargaining. The steelworkers are the bargaining agent for our unionized employees, and so they have a very clear role. So we have to be very careful with any messaging that appears to sell a contract and so on, or a proposal.
The rhetoric and the accusations and the mudslinging and all of the things that are throwing dust into the air and obscuring the issues at hand are really not helping the situation. I mean, all of a sudden this, what is a labor dispute, what Sudbury is very used to, unfortunately, we've been through labor disputes before, has become construed as Brazil versus Canada. It's become about our commitment to the community and our commitment to Canada, to African nations, to how we operate worldwide. All of this has nothing to do with the fundamental issues on the table, and I think that the noise is really becoming a distraction. Until we can start talking about the issues, it's going to be very difficult for us to solve this.
What are the top 3 things that would allow negotiations to resume? What, in Vale's opinion, would be the magic 3 ingredients to get things going?
If you're talking about 3 ingredients that are on the table, it would be probably pension, bonus, and transfers. If you're talking about what would allow us to get back to meaningful negotiations, from our point of view, we would like to see the union embrace the fact that change is necessary in the business. And for us, that's the starting point. I mean, where is it written, or why does it even be considered good business that everything must stay the same? I mean, the whole world has changed. The very fact that we're talking about blogs is something we wouldn't have talked about 3 years ago. You know, webcasts. The world does not stand still. The steelworkers signed a contract with Goodyear probably less than a week ago, and it had a move for new employees from a defined benefit to a defined contribution pension with a cap on profit sharing. That's exactly what's on the table here. Now, every situation is different, but we have a defined contribution pension plan with steelworkers in Voisey's Bay. We're not alone. Air Canada, you know, the auto industry, all of these companies, through the unfunded portion of their pension plan, were in severe financial trouble and took steps to address it by moving to a defined contribution plan. We don't feel that you have to have the patient on life support before you deliver the medication. And so we're saying, why do we want to wait to the point that the company is in such bad shape that it has to go to the government cap in hand? We can't afford to put this community and this company through that endless price cycle dependence that sees us having to shut down for 2 months. We need to be competitive in all environments, and that's the way we'll secure the long-term future.